What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Cause and Effect Photoshop video. My name's Khazi, and as promised in the last video, we're heading back to South America. And in the last video, we made like this really cute sloth creature. It was almost like the steward of the forest. It took care of nature around it. But I promised you guys that we would make something absolutely horrifying to kind of signify all the scary animals that live in South America. You know, the ones with fangs and claws and all that great stuff. So I thought, without further ado, we kind of get into it with the more iconic South American animals. And of course, you know, that means I'm talking about the jaguar. We're talking about the caiman, which is related to the crocodile and alligator. We've got the maned wolf, which is a really cool looking creature. They've got really cool legs. You'll see that in a little bit there. We've got the harpy eagle, which super cool bird. It's even cooler than the bald eagle, let's be real here. And then we've got the green anaconda. These are the iconic South American animals, if you ask me. So I think the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to start with the harpy eagle. So we're going to get right into it. Now, harpy eagles are pretty cool creatures, and I knew that I wanted to use this thing right away. I knew kind of what I was going for when I started this Photoshop challenge. I was going for kind of a Greek mythology here. I think it's Greek mythology, and it's the Chimera. Now, the Chimera is a weird creature because it's a combination of a bunch of different animals, so it kind of makes my job easy in terms of the body plan, but I still have to choose some animals. And I knew I wanted the harpy eagle because the harpy eagle is like the bane of all monkeys everywhere. I mean, these things almost exclusively hunt like tree-dwelling mammals, and that includes, you know, monkeys, that includes sloths. So if you needed a reason to hate these guys, they kill sloths. So there you go. They're already got some pretty good villain energy going on there. But they're really cool birds. They are threatened, which is sad, but there's lots of conservation efforts trying to help these guys out. And they are beautiful birds. I mean, their feathering is gorgeous, and they really do look like they're from another time. Plus, I love the name harpy eagles. So we've got the maned wolf here. They're really cool. Look at those legs, and I knew that I wanted to use those right away. And a chimera is similar to a griffin in some ways, in that it's got a different front half than a back half a lot of the time. I'm pretty sure the actual chimera is like a lion, a goat, maybe a scorpion or a snake. One of the two, but of course, so far we've got the harpy eagle and the maned wolf. So I think this is a good body plan to start. Their legs are so unique. They have a fantasy look to them too, and they kind of make it look back heavy. I want this thing to have all its muscle and bulk up front. I want it to just be jacked. You know, you got these little spindly legs. They look kind of awkward, but I figure it out eventually. I just decided to move on to the jaguar, the iconic South American animal here. These guys are cool. We mentioned them in the last video, actually, because apparently they get in fights with anteaters. So maybe this works out. This is almost the perfect counterpart to the last creature that we made, because you've got the harpy eagle in there that kills the sloth of the last creature. We've got the jaguar here that's going to kill basically everything else on the friendly, peaceful creature that we made. So it's almost like we're making legendary Pokemon for a video game here, all right? We've got the leaders of each region. We've got the region-specific Pokemon, like Zigzagoon and Seviper. That's such a weird reference, but that's okay. We're using the fur tactic from the last couple videos. I learned this technique, and I've been really happy with how it turned out. I almost get too excited. Everything just looks so fuzzy. But I think putting extra fuzz works better because then it stands out more in the environment once we have a background. And just you can see how much of a difference it makes on this jaguar. It makes it look a lot more lifelike. It takes out some of the sharp cuts that I made that just weren't perfect. And it adds a lot more personality. It makes it look like it's been walking through the jungle. Maybe it's a little wet. Who knows? So this is really where the idea for the chimera came in. This was the genesis of the idea, in that I couldn't remember if the chimera had a tail that was a scorpion or a snake, but I knew I wanted this anaconda in the picture. And I obviously wasn't going to use the snake for a body, because then what am I going to attach for limbs? Like, then I'd just be making a lizard, and that seems like a lot of effort when there's a lot of South American lizards. So I thought, you know what, we'll make this a tail and potentially a neck for another creature. So far I was just, at this point, I was just thinking maybe we'll just get the snake at the back. I'll fix up the head eventually, but I think a stroke of genius must have just hit me, and I thought, you know what, this is where we're going to put the caiman. Because at this point in the video, I wasn't sure if I was going to do the caiman as kind of like scales or teeth or something as an element on the creature. But at this point, I kind of decided, you know what, we're going to put the caiman on top of this snake, and there you go. Here's the idea right here. We're softening it up, stretching everything out, just using all the techniques that we've learned in the past couple of videos so far. I don't even know what to call half of them. Just going. Oh, it's beautiful. So we're going to the caiman here. So this is what I was talking about, how easy crop of the head. Gonna just snatch it off there. They're really cool looking creatures. You'd be forgiven for thinking they're a crocodile or an alligator because they look pretty well the exact same. They're just a smaller cousin. They're pretty common in South America as well as in Asia. There's a lot of caimans. So I thought this was perfect. I mean, its face structure is pretty similar to a snake, so it just fit right on there perfectly. And the only thing that I kind of battled with was the placement of the head in terms of the neck, because it made it look like he had like this little skinny neck. I don't know. I kind of imagined the front half looking around and the back half on the snake, you know, just biting everything. Because, you know, like crocodiles will just latch on anything that gets near their mouths. I thought that this would be like the perfect little setting here. So I had a background planned out. I had a couple to choose from. So that one didn't really look the way I wanted it to, but this one was perfect. It kind of gave me that feeling I was looking for. This video is a lot more fast-paced than some of the other Photoshop videos. Let me know what you guys think of that. Do you guys like it when the videos go by a little bit slower and you can kind of see more of the work that I'm doing, or do you really just come to see the time lapse of the beginning to end? You know, would you mind if I slowed it down a bit? Is this a good speed? Here, I'm just kind of touching things up, you know? I'm putting it in its environment. I mean, adding some shading, some depth, a little bit of shadow, some light. I noticed that we had the sun kind of coming in through the bush here, so we decided just to add it on. And thought we would cut out the feet for the little wolf too, just to kind of hide those and get the grass of the original creature out. And this is looking really good. Now there's a few elements here that are a little missing here, and I'm gonna add those shortly. But you can see I'm really just trying to take my time with the shading and the shadowing. I really want this creature to look like it fits in its kind of background. I really like the way this turned out, but as you might be feeling, excuse me, as you might be feeling right now, there might be something missing. And don't worry, I was thinking the exact same thing while I was creating this. You know, I really knew there was something off. I needed to add another element. I thought maybe if I mess with this crocodile's face a little bit, or caiman, sorry, I messed with the caiman's face a little bit, that we'd be better off, but it didn't really end up working that way. So at this point, we're just kind of cleaning things up, making it look pretty, and we kind of cured a lot of the awkwardness by hiding the feet at the end there, but this is great so far. All right, so this is what I was talking about. This is the element that I thought was missing, and I thought we'd add more of the Harpy Eagle. I mean, look at these things. They are horrifying. I mean, if you saw one of these eyeballing you from across the woods, you'd be wondering if you look delicious, you know? So I thought I'd line it up a little bit, which is ultimately pointless because I move it again anyways, kind of figuring out what I want to do with this. But I knew I wanted a headdress because when I think of Aztec civilization, I think of the beautiful ornamental headdresses that goes with the culture, just feathers, gold, all that. And obviously because this is a creature, it's not going to have gold. But I thought with the gold fur of the jaguar, we can add some beautiful feathers, some plumage. So just to kind of give it some more realism, maybe give it a neck, the sense of having a neck. And I think that turned out because it also gives it kind of a lion's mane look as well. And it turns out pretty good if I do say so myself. So we're kind of turning up here to the finished product. We're pretty well there. And we're just doing a little bit of cleanup here. But between the maned wolf, the caiman, the green anaconda, we've got the Harpy Eagle and the jaguar. Now, a couple of these animals, you know, I do want to give a shout out because as I do these videos, I learn a lot about these animals. And a lot of these animals is the typical sad story of South America is habitat loss. I mean, a lot of these guys, they're losing the place that they're living, and not a lot is being done about it. And I understand, developing countries, lots of resources, I get it, but a lot of these animals aren't doing so great. I mean, the Harpy Eagle is in rough shape. Same with caimans in a lot of regions, and jaguars seem to be doing all right, but just like any of the big predators, they're having a hard time too. So here I thought I would try and add some of these little poison dart frogs. These guys are so cool, and I thought that if we're talking deadly South American animals, not all of them are fangs and claws. These guys happen to be one of the most deadly creatures on the planet, and it just has to do with oils on their skin because of what they eat. So I thought we'd have the poison dart frogs. Maybe they'd be the messengers or the eyes of the forest for this big hunter. I kind of came up with a name for this one already, but not really. It's more of a title, and it's kind of the Chimera of the Amazon. I could be Chimera. I think it's Chimera. I think that's the proper way to pronounce it. But the Chimera of the Amazon, and I think it's a pretty fitting name. A, because that's what I was kind of targeting, and B, that's how it looks. We added some other wildlife here, the Harpy Eagle. I think we kind of decided in the last video that the animals we're creating are representatives of the animals in their environment. So, you know, the cute creature from last time is the representative for the sloths and all the other cute little creatures like capybaras. But this guy is kind of the totem for the deadly animals, you know. We've got the pantheon of gods, and the gods in this pantheon are all lusting for blood. They're on the hunt. I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I really like the way this turns out. We had some more poison dart frogs. They're looking really good, and adding those skulls there in the corner, beautiful. I love this kind of theming. I don't know about you, but I was a big Indiana Jones fan when I was a kid, and this kind of rainforest temple kind of theme really kind of resonates with me. It looks really cool, and this is just coming together. I feel like I didn't really need to do a lot of work in terms of the background on this piece because the creature itself tells a pretty big story, and yeah, I think it's well done. And finally, we got a chance to use the bird eater. In the last video, we weren't actually able to use this creature because I couldn't fit it properly, but we're back in Predator City here, so here we go. We're throwing the bird eater in there, the Goliath bird eater. Cool tarantulas, man. They're giant. They just eat birds. Cool. Glad they don't get much bigger than that. That's all I can say there. Just messing around with the background. We've got the Harpy Eagle, the poisonous dart frogs. God, they are so cool. And we've got the beautiful Goliath bird eater, all hanging out with the Chimera of the rainforest. Guys, let me know what you think about this video, because honestly, this creature was a ton of fun to make. I loved the idea that it was a follow-up to a creature that we did in last week's video. If you haven't checked that video out, make sure you check it out because that was a lot of fun. I can see these two creatures either working together to maintain the balance of the forest, or basically being at a war, kind of a struggle and a tug of war of prey and predator. Who knows? I'm trying to build kind of a mythology around these creatures that we've created, and I think once we wrap up with the Western Hemisphere, we're going to do a video that kind of summarizes the creatures that we've done so far and maybe how they interact with each other. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I think it would be a lot of fun to kind of build like a lore or a mythos around these creatures. The video that we did before was Mexico, so if you guys want to check that one out too, I highly encourage that, as well as some of the Strange Thoughts videos. I don't just do Photoshop. I like making weird videos of all kinds. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more, hit that like button and consider hitting that subscribe button so you can get notifications for when we post our next video 2 weeks from now. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We've got a good amount of views in the last couple videos. It's not a lot, but it makes me feel great. It just feels really good to be out here making videos again. So with that being said, peace out. I'm saying it again. Thanks for watching.